There is an awesome feature on the Pfaff Creative 3.0 sewing machine called precise positioning. Now that's a fancy word for being able to easily take, say, a design and connect it to something that already exists. So maybe you want another one of these flowers and you want it to touch right about here. Or you need it to be located in an exact area and you need to see that one last stitch is going to be in this exact position. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I have an idea. We've just stitched out the fun applique flower here. This is design number 30 from the machine. And let's say I took it out of the hoop and now I want to put another one in. I can put it back in the hoop. And let's take a look at the design as it's pictured. What if we took the last stitch right here on this little petal and we want to line it up with, say, this last stitch on the purple petal? So I'll show you what we're going to do. When you master this, whenever you need to line something up, it is going to be super easy. I've used it for when I've been doing quilting designs and I've hooped up my quilt and I need to make sure, for example, the quilting design goes right where my block is. I can check and see that that stitch is going to land right on the seam or right on the intersection. It is amazing. And sometimes I'll just use it to just double check a point on a design and go, okay, where is that going to actually be once it stitches on my fabric? So we're going to go ahead and pull up design 30 again. And design 30. Go ahead and go to the embroidery stitch out mode. And then design positioning is the little butterfly up in the top corner. So there's two steps to design positioning. In step one, you're going to locate a point on the design to lock it in. So that means that I can pick out any point. If it's this point or that point, I can pick my own point. I will tell you, this is so precise. I would put this up against any embroidery machine for getting something lined up with the perfect one sink of the needle and it will be in position. Let me show you what we're talking about. So in step one, what we can do is we can move, actually let me back up here. Choose step one, okay? It's okay that I've moved it because I'm going to actually move it again. So step one, when you turn it green, you get a green plus and you can pick, this is where you can pick the point you want. I would highly recommend that you use the zoom functions and really get in so you can see it. So if I touch the zoom at the bottom, it goes right into that exact point. Okay, so that's a little bit too zoomed in. I'm going to zoom back out. If I want to zoom back all the way out, I can touch this one. It'll go back to my hoop. And I'm going to just kind of move my plus a little closer to where I wanted it. Now let's zoom in on that. So see how I can move this to actually be on the exact stitch. So once that's on that stitch, and I can fine tune it by actually using the little arrows. Once that is on position, and let's go ahead and zoom back out just so I can see the whole thing. I can do zoom all, which is kind of just the whole design. I can do it for the whole hoop and so forth. And actually, that's not the flower I'm thinking of, or the point. I actually need to be at a lower one because I'm picking the new design. There we go. Let's zoom back in, right to that point. Awesome. And you do have to go back out to that section. There we go. And then to move the point. Great. Zoom out so we can see the whole design. Okay, so that's the point of the flower that I wanted to line up with on the one that already exists. So now what we're going to do is go to step two. Step two is where you can place the locked point on a position of the fabric. Okay, so if you ever forget what you're supposed to do in each step, go ahead and use the question mark and refresh what each of those pictures mean. So now, and the easiest way to do it is just go ahead and you're moving the needle. So that plus, the big lock point that's black, is the needle. So now you can move the needle into position, and once I get close, there we go, then I'm going to go ahead and use the fine-tuning arrows as I move the needle to be exactly over the stitch I want it to go down and into. All right, so here, oh, we're getting close, not all the way there, but we can fine-tune. Like I said, you can bring it down into the exact hole that you want it to connect with. And once you're there, Then just do the check mark, and that will confirm that your design is in the location and to keep that position. And then it's going to move to go ahead and start the design. So now that as it starts here, when it comes around, it will come and meet exactly where I saw the stitches come together.